Hi, this is Tom, the gas station guy from Delaware, and as the election approaches, I have one question. Did Mr. Plouffe draw all of his information about how to run a campaign from Adolf Hitler? The similarities are striking and scary. For those of you that don't know your history, I suggest that you look back into the 1903 to 1936 era in Germany, when they were in a worldwide depression, much as we are headed for today. Adolf Hitler came along in the National Socialist Party. He created one enemy for all the people to be angry about and for the state and condition that they found themselves in. At that time, the enemy that was created was the Jews. Today, Mr. Obama, thanks to Mr. Plouffe, I assume, has created the George Bush and the Republicans and anyone who was like them as the enemy to hate and to blame for the condition we find ourselves in today. Contrary to the facts that Bill Clinton approved the expansion of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, he didn't do it on purpose, he did it with good intentions. But the unintended consequences of good intentions can sometimes bite you in the ass. And with Chris Dodd and Barney Frank at the wheel, that's just what happened. And you and me are the ones that have gotten bitten. Anyway, back to the Hitler campaign. He used patriotic terms just like Obama. Stand with me and we will defeat them, the bad people, the devil. He would crush opposition. Look at Joe the Plumber and Sarah Palin. Look how they were treated by not only the press, but I'm sure the Obama people also. They were crushed. If you dare to ask a question, you're scared to death to ask questions. That's the point to the whole thing. You're afraid to stand up and speak up for anything, ask anything. Then Mr. Obama played the race card. That was the smartest move of the century. It would deflect any question about him. How dare you question Mr. Obama? But he started out his campaign where he was the modern political person. He would transcend race and bring the country together. No, he won't. He played the race card on Bill Clinton, one of the most non-racial people in this country. Then he played the race card against the Republicans and what they would say and do and how you should be scared of them because they are the devil. They are the evil. They are the ones we must fight against. And he promises everybody everything. Who among you doesn't think they're going to get some money in the mail as soon as he gets elected? Who among you doesn't believe that he, Nancy Pelosi, and Harry Reid will just do whatever they feel like doing with no one to control them, no one to put a stop on the brakes on the train? This is much like Germany in the 1930s. The fact is that Adolf Hitler brought Germany out of the Depression quicker than Franklin Roosevelt brought the United States out of the Depression. He created the Volkswagen car through Ferdinand Porsche. He created the Autobahn. They didn't have heavy equipment. Germany had been crushed by France and the rest of Europe at the end of the First World War. President Woodrow Wilson from the United States was too ill to attend the Versailles Conference and put the brakes on that. He knew that was not a good thing, but the French wanted to crush the Germans, make them pay for the war. All they did was create the ferment, the unrest, the depression, and what was to follow was the door was open for a person like Adolf Hitler to walk right through and speak to the problems of all the German people and unite them against one common enemy. Nobody knew what he was going to do when he got in. Maybe he didn't even know because he turned out to be wacky and crazy. But even crazy people do good things. And some of the things he did for the German people, he brought them out of the Depression, as I said, quicker than the United States came out of it. Anyway, the United States of America is going to continue to have racial problems as long as somebody can profit from it. People like Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. I think that's why Jackson said he wanted to cut the nuts off Barack Obama. That's his gravy train. And at the time, Barack Obama sounded like he was going to transcend race, and we would go past that. We wouldn't have white guilt. We wouldn't be blamed for things that happened 200 years ago. Speaking about that, what are the Jews entitled to today? They were slaves over 4,000 years ago. Does Egypt owe them any money? Does Egypt owe them jobs? No. Egypt still wants to destroy them. 4,000 years is a long time. We're talking, we've been here for 200, and it only took 80 years for the United States of America to free the slaves after they had been a British colony for over 200 years. And the British colony started the slavery for old King Cotton, to create cotton cloth and to send the money back to Great Britain. And the myth about 3/5 of a person, it turns out, if you study your history, that the North put that into law, that the South could only treat their slaves as 3/5 of a person to keep the South from getting total control of the newly formed Congress and government. They wanted the South wanted to count person for person. The North knew what would happen, just as you and I really know the chance of what can happen if Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, and Harry Reid get put in charge. Too much power in too few hands. So look into your history. David Plouffe is an expert. He studied Hitler. I know he did. He studied how he got elected. Think for yourselves. Vote for John McCain and Sarah Palin for no other reason than to be a stopgap to keep the government from becoming a single party and doing whatever they want to do. Thank you for listening, and God bless America.